The 25th of September 2018 T 9 hours 59 minutes and 30 seconds, 833 Z. Troubles at home overshadow U.S. President's speech. Appearances on the global stage tend to elevate the stature of presidents both abroad and at home. But even before his arrival for the annual bonanza of world leaders and diplomats, the desired image was muddied by confusion in Washington. The fate of his second Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh, was cast into fresh doubt over the weekend after a second allegation of sexual misconduct. Drama also swirled Monday around the status of his Deputy Attorney General. Rod Rosenstein was reported last week to have floated the idea of secretly recording Trump last year and to have raised the idea of using the 25th Amendment to remove Trump from office. The man overseeing special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe and a frequent target of Trump's ire offered to resign and fully expected Monday to be fired. He received a stay of punishment at least until Thursday, when he is to meet with Trump at the White House. At the 25th of September 2018 T 10 hours 19 minutes and 3 seconds, a 403 Z president expected to promote his North Korea strategy a year ago. Mr. Trump stood at the international rostrum and derided the North Korean leader as Little Rocket Man and threatened to totally destroy North Korea. It was a different world, Mr. Trump said on Monday of his one-time moniker for the North Korean leader. That was a dangerous time. This is 1 year later, a much different time. Mr. Trump praised Mr. Kim as very open and terrific, despite the sluggish pace of progress toward denuclearization on the Korean peninsula. South Korean President Moon Jae-in delivered a personal message to Mr. Trump from Mr. Kim after their inter-Korean talks last week in Pyongyang. "You are the only person who can solve this problem," Mr. Moon said to Mr. Trump. Relaying Mr. Kim's words, the president said the location for a second summit with Mr. Kim is still to be determined, but officials have said Mr. Trump is holding out hope it could take place on American soil. Such a move would present a complex political and logistical challenge for the North Korean leader. Mr. Trump has often fondly invoked the Singapore Summit, a made-for-TV event that attracted the world's media attention and largely received positive marks from cable pundits, reviews that were not repeated for his summit with Russia's Vladimir Putin in Helsinki the following month. Mr. Trump and Mr. Moon on Monday signed a new version of the U.S.-South Korean trade agreement, marking one of Mr. Trump's first successes in his effort to renegotiate economic deals on more favorable terms for the U.S. Mr. Trump labeled it a very big deal and said the new agreement makes significant improvements to reduce the trade deficit between the countries and create opportunities to export American products to South Korea. At the 25th of September 2018 T 11 hours 37 minutes and 4 seconds, 173 ZIC Washington-Tehran relations continued. Top advisor to Iran's supreme leader on Tuesday rejected a U.S. offer for top-level meetings, as both countries' presidents were due to attend the UN General Assembly in New York. Iran's elite Revolutionary Guards also kept up the anti-U.S. rhetoric in the build-up to the UN session, calling President Donald Trump evil and adventurous, and accusing him of waging economic war on Tehran. Mr. Trump pulled out of an international nuclear deal with Iran in May, and has since started reinstating economic penalties and pressing other countries to stop buying Iranian oil. Mr. Trump said in July he was ready to meet Iran's President Hassan Rouhani without preconditions to negotiate a new deal. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo repeated the offer on Sunday and expanded it to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei, telling Fox News, "That's who's running the show in Iran. I think that would be an important and interesting conversation." President Rouhani, seen as a moderate, has stopped short of ruling out meetings between the two countries. But he has come under increasing pressure from hardliners, including the Guards, since Trump withdrew from the 2015 nuclear accord. Asked about the offer of talks, Khamenei's top aide, Ali Akbar Velayati, said Trump's and Pompeo's dream would never come to reality, according to the IRNA news agency. The Revolutionary Guard statement read, "The evil and adventurous American president has focused on an economic war and cruel sanctions to deviate the Iranian nation from the revolutionary values and its national interests." Iran curbed its nuclear activities in exchange for sanctions relief in the 2015 nuclear accord. Trump pulled out, saying the agreement did not go far enough. But the other countries that signed it, who think the pact offers the best chance of stopping Iran developing a nuclear bomb, agreed on Monday to keep working to maintain trade with Tehran. Separately, the Guards also said the Saturday attack on a military parade that killed 25 people was a miscalculation by the enemies, as this crime has only made the Iranian nation more united. Iran accused the United States of supporting the assailants who carried out the attack, but Washington has denied any prior knowledge of the incident. At the 25th of September 2018 T 11 hours 46 minutes and 31 seconds, 580 Z. In a further twist in relations between Iran and the US, Mr. Trump has implied President Rouhani asked for a meeting with him, but he rejected it, despite requests. "I have no plans to meet Iranian President Hassan Rouhani. Maybe someday in the future. I am sure he is an absolutely lovely man," Mr. Trump wrote on Twitter on Tuesday morning, ahead of the UN General Assembly meeting in New York. Iran swiftly denied having made such a request. The 25th of September 2018 T 13 hours 5 minutes and 33 seconds. 010 Z. The UN General Assembly debate has officially begun. The room remained silent for a minute in memory of former Secretary-General Kofi Annan, who recently passed away. Current Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is presenting his program of work right now. The 25th of September 2018 T 13 hours 9 minutes and 6 seconds, 296 Z. Our world is suffering from a bad case of trust deficit disorder, Mr. Guterres said. Cooperation is less certain and more difficult, and trust in global governance is fragile, he noted. He also said multilateralism is under fire at a time when the world may need it most. It may be seen as a veiled criticism of Donald Trump's consistent assessment of the UN as a toothless world body. He also once called it a good time club. The 25th of September 2018 T 13 hours 14 minutes and 54 seconds, 580 Z. Those who close the borders to regular immigration only fuel the work of traffickers, Mr. Guterres said. The 25th of September 2018 T 13 hours 18 minutes and 45 seconds, 316 Z. Mr. Guterres is now speaking about the urgency of the need to address climate change. "We as a community of world leaders are not doing enough. We must listen to the Earth's best scientists. We must guarantee the implementation of the Paris Agreement." Mr. Trump began the withdrawal process for the U.S. to leave the global climate agreement signed in 2015 in an attempt to curb global carbon emissions and contain global warming to 2°C. Climate action could add $26 billion to the global company, the Secretary-General advised. "Green business is good business," he said, again addressing a point of contention between Mr. Trump and the world. The 25th of September 2018 T 13 hours 24 minutes and 11 seconds, 993 Z. Mr. Guterres is now discussing cybercrime. The 25th of September 2018 T 13 hours 29 minutes and 0 seconds, 956 Z. Prime Minister Theresa May is expected to make an appearance in New York this week to lobby for the release of UK citizen Nazanin Ratcliffe, jailed in Iran. The 25th of September 2018 T 13 hours 36 minutes and 6 seconds, 116 Z. The President of the General Assembly Maria Fernanda Espinosa Garce said the world owes a large debt to women over the injustice of global development leaving women and girls behind for too long. Ms. Garces, of Ecuador, is the first Latin American woman to lead the world body. Read more of our coverage about women's rights around the world. The 25th of September 2018 T 13 hours 41 minutes and 37 seconds, 810 Z. Ms. Garces said, "Let us not talk about Africa. Let us work with Africa." The UN has often been criticized by those in the international development arena for not including members of the 54 nations on the continent in its own growth and development, or only focusing on aid rather than a sustainable future. The 25th of September 2018 T13 hours 47 minutes and 6 seconds, 456 said Musgar says, per custom, appeals to heads of state to limit the statements in the general debate to 15 minutes. This very rarely happens. Mr. Trump's speech last year was approximately 40 minutes. The longest speech ever given clocked in around 270 minutes by none other than Fidel Castro of Cuba on the 26th of September 1960. By tradition, Brazil will speak first. The 25th of September 2018 T13 hours 51 minutes and 57 seconds, 140 said something to watch out for, the word sovereignty. Mr. Trump said the word 21 times during his speech last year. He also made mention of it already this year, through a document on global drug policy. Read about diplomatic pressure and why the Trump administration in the U.S. mission to the UN's drug policy may not play as well with Republicans ahead of the 2018 midterm elections as other countries' policies. The 25th of September 2018 T13 hours 55 minutes and 23 seconds, 540 said this is why Brazil always speaks first at the UN. The 25th of September 2018 T13 hours 59 minutes and 25 seconds, 680 said Brazilian President Michel Temer said the UN is first and foremost a body of mutual understanding. He also spoke about a multilateral system of trade and migration policy. The 25th of September 2018 T14 hours 1 minute and 55 seconds, 770 said Mr. Trump has reportedly not left Trump Tower, his New York residence, as yet. He is set to speak next. Since the U.S. usually always speaks second, another country may have to take the spot if the U.S. president does not arrive across town in the Turtle Bay neighborhood on time. The 25th of September 2018 T14 hours 12 minutes and 13 seconds, 400 said we can expect practically every speaker to touch upon a few items during their general debate speeches. Migration, human rights, and climate change. The nuclear deal with Iran is crucial for the security of the region, of Europe and of the entire region. As long as Iran continues to implement its nuclear-related commitments as it is doing so far, the European Union will remain committed to the continued, full, and effective implementation for the nuclear deal, she said. Mr. Trump refused to recertify the deal, a signature foreign policy achievement under the administration of Barack Obama. Earlier this year, the 25th of September 2018 T14 hours 13 minutes and 18 seconds, 133 said since Mr. Trump is running late, perhaps even a presidential motorcade is not enough to work past Midtown Manhattan traffic. Ecuador's Lenín Moreno is now speaking. The 25th of September 2018 T14 hours 20 minutes and 30 seconds, 990 said Mr. Trump and U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley, accompanied by First Lady Melania Trump, have entered the building, so he should be ready to speak next.